Hello, I'm George Rivari from Knowledge Tree Consulting. I'm going to talk to you about my business growth journey. There's a lot of great insights that I can share that are going to help you. The truth of the matter is business growth is incredibly difficult. And the reason is you've got three things you need to balance. Number one, you've got the management. You've got to manage the growth. Number two, you've got to manage the money. There's got to be enough money to make the growth work. And hopefully you're going to make more money as a result of it. And number three is actually changing your business in real time as this is happening to actually handle the growth. So it's actually a crazy journey, and most people do it very poorly. It's kind of off the cuff. It is actually possible to grow your business profitably. It doesn't have to be unprofitable. Having said that, there are journeys where you have to step back, sacrifice profits in the short term to make higher profits in the long term. And that's what we're going to talk about. So my success journey. So I built Oriole Landscaping with my business partner, Peter Ganan, 38 years ago. We've had between 45 and 50 employees for the last little while. We've purchased a new amazing business with an amazing leader that's adding to our business. So we are growing through acquisition. We've created a company where I don't actually do anything in the company. My staff does everything. And they're amazing. They've allowed me to get my life back. So I'm so fortunate to have this team. So you'll notice this incredibly complicated project on the right, and then the team on the left. The two go hand in hand. That does not happen without incredible people. And so your company is a function of great processes and great people. And I can tell you the pride and the satisfaction that you get with having things go well is such a relief, because the struggles are palpable. You can feel them, you can taste them, the stresses are enormous. It's people stress, it's project stress, what's going to go wrong. You can build an amazing business, and there are great techniques to do this. So it wasn't easy. I was in constant firefighting mode. Honestly, I was afraid of tomorrow, like what's going to go wrong? How am I going to get through this year? How am I going to make payroll? All those stresses were on me daily for years. Knowing now what I know, I could have solved those problems a lot earlier. And so I'm hoping to save you a lot of grief. So the question is, how did I get where I am today, where the business actually works for me and my stress levels are low and I got my life back? So it comes down to communication, actually. It's the fundamental ingredient in making a company work well. That and amazing people. But it also starts with leadership. So number one, we get rid of the me culture. It's about me. It's about we. We have to have a company where there's meetings, because when there's no meetings, essentially you're going to end up with this type of communication flow. You're going to end up with silos of stupidity, people that don't understand what's going on, don't have the vision for the company, don't know what the mission is, don't understand how they fit in. They feel left out. And they also have missing information, so things that could actually make them better and have them avoid mistakes in the future. So essentially, this diagram illustrates where there's a boss that actually just delegates down and out without an actual way to get the information shared properly. That's the first thing that you need to stop. I used to be what I would call the Chief Interruption Officer, CIO, and that's not a flattering title. To get what I needed to know, I would bug everybody all the time, which actually disrupted their workflows and created frustration. Certainly not great for culture. So at one point, what I did is I implemented a meeting system. I downloaded my brain and I got myself out of the way. And so what I did was I created an agenda for every meeting that we had so that they would run smoothly. And they were based on urgent and important. So what's the most urgent thing in a business? It's actually people. Who's showing up today, right? Hopefully everybody shows up and you don't have high turnover. But the truth of the matter is, once you get an agenda down and you download your mind, it's all repeatable processes. And then you get the right people around the meetings. They run the meetings without you. You can coach the meetings, and eventually you don't even need to coach the meetings. The truth of the matter is that you don't get better doing the work. You get better when you practice. And meetings are the analogy of a soccer team or a hockey team having a practice. That's where you improve, and then you play, and that's where you keep score. What's going on? Without great meetings, your company will not get to another place, and you yourself will not get yourself out of the day-to-day. So it's critical to have unbelievable meetings. You can dial them in where you have agenda items with actual time limits to each question. You can have them where you can rate each meeting, how well it went, good or bad. And that'll have a huge impact on creating this momentum for your business. And by the way, in those team meetings, you all learn from each other, and that's how you start to improve, because one person's mistake becomes a learning opportunity for everybody. Without meetings, each person's making individual mistakes all over the place, and no one learns from each other. You may learn yourself, but that's the me mentality. So we've got to get to the we mentality. This is absolute magic once you integrate this into your business. So what I learned about creating good culture. First of all, there are some people that are like Navy SEALs, for example. They have their own will. They do the right thing no matter what, even when people aren't looking. But most of us don't operate at that level. So then we have what we call peer pressure. So peer pressure in these meetings essentially forces people to behave at a better level, because they're going to get called out when something's not done. It's obvious, and you can see the patterns. So that creates peer pressure. That's a wonderful way to create culture as well, right? Helping people along, guiding them, giving them a boost, giving them some encouragement, right? Then we've got systems. So the meeting system, it's a system, right? People, process, culture. So the system is the meeting. If you have a great meeting system and a great meeting structure, you're going to get far, far further ahead than if you don't. As a matter of fact, I would say you cannot grow your business without great meetings. Carrots. We like to incentivize people with carrots, right? I'll give you an example, a simple example of changing culture in a business. In our company, every single one of our employees backs into their parking spot. And the reason we do that is it looks excellent, number one. Number two, it's safer. And when a new candidate comes to our office and they're going for an interview, they're like, oh my God, everything is lined up and it's in order. This place is tight, right? So remember, if you see it, you believe it. If it's sloppy, that's going to be the culture of the business. So these are all representations of what's possible to keep a company at a higher level. Sticks, reprimands. Once you get to reprimands, you've got an issue. And I don't like to use sticks. As a matter of fact, sticks lead to exits. So I can't have a company where I have people that are not rowing together, working together, trying to help each other, have all kinds of issues. Those people have to be aligned as a team. If they don't fit the culture, they can't be in our company. And that's one of the biggest lessons we learned, is we used to take way too long to move people to other businesses or other careers that would fulfill them more than in our business. So it's not about a job, it's about a career at the end of the day. And so this is all part of that whole system of creating this gentle breeze of change that essentially makes your business run dialed in. So different leadership mindsets. One thing that I've been lucky enough to observe in my time as a business consultant is all kinds of different leadership styles and all kinds of different leadership mentalities. And then some of them are actually not even leadership mentalities. They're just things that are missing, some information that's missing. Like, what should I do here? What should I do there? I was just recently working with a large company in Manitoba, and I think I found about $100,000 worth of assets that they have tied up that are underproductive. And so essentially, when you take that money and you put the interest factor and the compounding factor on top of that, over 10 years, it's a huge sum of money. Plus, that initial capital could be used for way better things, right? Investing in much better things that'll have a higher return for your business. So I like to free up cash in growth journeys from your existing operations. That's the first thing that I'm going to do. The second thing that I like to do is I like to make sure we have everybody who's supposed to be on the boat, and the people that aren't, have them get off the boat. So you can have a frugal mindset, so you're cheap and you maybe don't pay your people enough and they leave for that reason. You can have an excessive mindset where you're just wasting money all over the place. So there's an optimal mindset, and that's how you get ahead way faster. So your psychology or your gaps in knowledge about like how to actually really leverage scarce resources, which is money, is probably what needs to be resolved. And so once you change the mindset, if you're open, you can get ahead way faster. You probably don't even realize all the waste in your business. And so it's really important to actually change that mindset and get you to the optimized mindset. So in my business consulting practice, I see two growth journeys. One on the left, which is red, and one on the right, which is green. Most people, I would say 99% of people, are on the left-hand side of this equation. It's tough. They're trying to grow, they're reacting, they're firefighting, poor communication, mistakes are being made, huge amounts of warranty, right? Much better just to get something dialed in, organized, lean and mean, and then scale that. And there are ways to scale, and most people don't know how to scale properly. Because when you want to grow your business and you don't have the talent behind it, it's going to blow up. If someone quits and you bought this new truck to start doing more work and the person quits, you've got nightmares. If you've got poor processes for the information flow, that's also a disaster. So you really got to have things dialed in, and essentially you don't want to redline your business. You want to be at around 90% capacity and then have somebody who's continually working on improving that business. So, let's hang out on the right-hand side. Let's get a clean, mean business machine, and let's avoid the chaos on the left. And that can be done by planning. So most people don't plan their growth. They just simply react to what's coming in. Oftentimes it's really important to say no to things because you're not ready. It doesn't make sense to jump in the water when you haven't been taught how to swim. So ideal journeys, we optimize first, and once we optimize them, we scale. So my recommendation to most of you is hold back on growth, work on getting better and fixing your problems in your business, identify what the biggest problems are first, knock those out of the park, and then start to grow. And by the way, your profits will actually increase without growing. That's the irony in the whole thing. You want to be more profitable? Get rid of the waste in your business first. And once you've dialed it in where things are running really smooth, and you've got the ability and the capacity to grow, then you can make some growth moves. So the conclusion, you need to avoid mistakes. You need to make the right decisions. And oftentimes it's about knowledge, right? You have to have the knowledge to be able to make the right moves. And that's going to save you a ton of time and money. I'd love to help you. The reason I am doing this is that I want to make sure people don't suffer like I did. It was a very difficult journey. It didn't need to be that way. I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have any help. And I realize now if I did, it would have saved me huge amounts of grief. The only ingredient is openness. You just need to have an openness to possibilities, and your life can change within a couple of years. It's a lot of hard work, but it's very rewarding on the other side. When I look at the two businesses, I see essentially a distressed business or I see an opportunity business. It is great to move a distressed business to the opportunity side of the balance sheet, and then we move forward and we grow the business, and your quality of life improves, your staff get paid better, you're more profitable, it's a safer business, better customers, the experience is way better. So I'd love to help you move from either distress or actually realizing your opportunity.